All right, guys. Good morning. So we do have some gap ups around the market. Some names they have gap ups, which is good. Some of you guys I know are holding Nvidia from the bottom, from 240, 230. Monologist Taka, great call, man. I saw your alert and the mods alert, and you've been writing it. So that's a multi-banger for you. And LB's been on Nvidia, Yash has been on it, Bucky's been on it. So congrats to all the Nvidia players, right? And SPX guys, just one thing, if you guys read the gamma report lately, the point of gamma report is it gives us a lot of information backed by data, which in one has to figure it out on his own. But in gamma report, we get the prepared report. It saves a lot of time instead of digging into a lot of things, right? If you guys read the gamma report, there are a few things that they do mention, right? This rally that happened, right? It was likely a covering from puts. All right, it was a covering rally. It was not the buying that was going on. Let's buy stocks. The market dumped. It was likely a recovering rally. Now the 4,500 key level is the most important level for bulls and bears. All right, 4,500. Given this range from this 4,800 range all the way towards 4,240. 4,500 kind of falls in the mid and is the most important range. This is going to act as support and resistance for SPX. All right, in the gamma report, the levels are given by them. As per them, we are above 4,500. If we hold, right, we have 4,528, and then we have 4,555, and then all the way towards 4,578, 4,600. All right, and then to the downside, obviously we have 4,480. If we hold, if we don't, then they're very tight levels, and the volatility is expected to remain today. The volatility is expected to remain today, and then we see, right? And now, basically, if the market wants to go up and digest this move, there has to be some sort of real buying going on. All right, if the real buying comes in and people are actually buying equity stocks, they're buying the dip, BTD that we say, then the market will likely continue higher until further, we see some more weakness and downside. However, if 45 level fails to hold, if 45 becomes a really, maybe today we get through it, we get to 45.50, we get to 4,600, but in the longer time frame, in the coming week or so, if we fail to hold 4,500 to the top side, expect lower side, expect 4,300, test one more time, and then we see if 4,300 will break or not, right? One pattern that I'll show you guys that may be forming, right, to put some of you guys like it. I know Yash likes this pattern, right? You zoom out of the chart and then you see a bigger time frame head and shoulders, right? So we got this area right here from August, right, which you can one shoulder, this can be a one head, and then this can be forming a shoulder, all right, where 4,300 breaks in the coming weeks, and then we might head lower, right? But for short term, there might be a rally. Now, after the big move down, after the market has rallied a lot, is it still wise to buy calls? Personally, I don't think so. But if you're trading, if in individual stocks, you think the dip was too much, there's still more fuel left in the rally, place your stop losses and play the rally as per your style, I guess, right? And so 4,500 is the most important level on SPX. Just know this. All right, the 4,500, this will act as support and resistance. Qs, same thing, right? Nice little rally here. We just need to hold above. We have the Nasdaq levels also posted in pre-market, but here on the Qs, as long as we get above the 200 MA, right, and we hold about 365, we can continue higher, or else 365, 360 zone will act as resistance. This zone right here will act as resistance. Just know this. All right, this zone right here, this is going to act as resistance. There will be a lot of even if we go through it, we might even come back. Even if we go slide through this towards 380, it's likely that 360 will be visited, and then we see what happens. All right, and some companies today, in the earnings, they're announcing some buybacks. What exactly does that mean for the market? That means, I don't know if the date has been announced, but they're looking to buy back their shares sometime this year or maybe in the coming months when they may see more downside, or they may see this as a buying dip or opportunity, right? X2M announced great numbers. They missed their revenue. But they still announced a buyback program, all right? And so what happens here? Right, X2M is trading. If we go on the monthly chart, I had some puts on this last week. Obviously, it didn't work out. I just sliced through this resistance, right, which happens rarely usually, but energy was strong, I guess, and it completely sliced through. And now they announced a buyback program, and through this channel now, if we continue holding above 72, 75, they might continue holding this above 70, right, and not let it fall. And then maybe in the coming months, it might be even more bullish because the MACD is also bullish, and so just keep an eye on XOM. I know some people are still trying to play puts, but there's just a lot of strength in this name. Sometimes when a stock runs, we get, I'm gonna cash to the downside. I'm gonna cash to the downside. But what if something like this happens? Why be stubborn? XOM is really strong for me. It's over as a puts play. Like I'm gonna move on. I'm not gonna look to buy puts in XOM until I see further a weakness in the coming months, right? The stock is just too strong, so why be stubborn and look at it every day? This can continue going to 85, 90 like no tomorrow, right? When stocks usually break out of this pattern. One example would be for a similar pattern would be Ford. When they took out just focus on this part right here, right? It's something that you guys need to know. Just focus on this. So XOM has a similar pattern right here, right? We broke out of this zone right here, strong, and then they built a little flag and it went to the upside, right? So now on XOM, if the energy still goes and if it's building, I'll just wait for a base, maybe to the upside, and maybe later on in the weeks if I see a put play, I'll play on it, right? But don't force yourselves to play puts on it if you missed it the first time. You were wrong, accept it. It was a mistake, not a mistake. I mean, it was a bad trade. We're not gonna nail all the trades, but time to move on, right? So let XOM settle. All right, UBS, another name that announced some buybacks. I can see why they would, and their earnings were good. They announced a buyback program, and now they're up pre-market. Here is holding this support. I'm just going over these technicals so you guys understand. I know I don't play UBS, and I probably never will, but just going based on some earnings, something different. If we continue holding above this resistance, point, which is roughly $17, $18 a basis, this is one stock that can probably see much higher. All right. So just keep an eye on this. They announced a buyback also, which usually sometimes means the market is weak right now. It's a good time to buy, but their stock hasn't really dipped if we look at the monthly. And but if it holds above these resistances, then this can see a big move in the coming months, right? So you want to keep an eye on this name, right? Because when this stock also moves, it moves big. It's a low, it's a name that's under $20, and even if you catch a $2-3 move to the upside on options, it can make a lot of money. The bottom line is this on UBS, all right? And then we have UPS. UPS, one word right there, upbeat guidance, right? Upbeat guidance, all right? I'll just notice from before, and they announced earnings today, and they raised their guidance, and I think on the monthly it's going to be a long candle to the upside. So let's see how this one works out. And UPS earnings are good for e-commerce stocks, obviously. All right, Amazon might go on this. Right, you guys are all smart enough to understand why e-commerce may benefit of FTX and UPS good earnings, right? And so UPS, as long as I think it holds, it's at the all-time high. I think it's opening. The only thing here is, does it give up gains or does it hold, right? Does it give up gains or does it hold, or does it do something like this, like on the past earnings back in April, right? I remember this move. I think LB and I were playing this name last year. We had the 165 call or 170, I believe. And we caught this move, all right? So if you remember, so UPS, let's see if it holds above this name, right? If it holds this trend, if it continues holding out above 220 by 10 a.m., this might even see 225, 230, 240 today itself, right? As long as they don't sell this off. Would I buy right at the open? Hell no. I'll wait for 15-20 minutes, see how the 5-minute forms, and if I see at 10 o'clock, 10:15, they take the high of the day and they hold that little pattern, then we might have an all-day uptrend on UPS. Just keep an eye on it, but it has to make a new high by 10 a.m. All right, it should not be trading below that. AMD has earnings. I don't know who said AMD's numbers are out. I'm not pretty sure why. I did not see it. If they are, then I'm sorry, guys. But AMD, I think they have earnings today, and there's a nice little chart all the way from 160 all the way towards 100. This is actually one stock that I wanted to buy near 100. I missed. Right, I wanted to buy options. I missed on the options. I scaled in some equity across the board a little bit, not too much, right around these levels, which is good. And let's see if they hold. But don't just turn fully bullish like LB is saying. Look at the bigger picture. Stocks don't just go straight down when they go down. They don't go straight down. They go down. They make you bullish. They trap you here. If the real buying is not happening, they'll base here, give you a nice little pattern that we're going to go up, and then a big dump comes in right away. Read the gamma report as to what I mean. All right? We're not bearish. We're just giving the macro picture here. What might happen in March, April, or maybe at the end of this month sometime. All right, just keep that in mind. Don't get too balled up. If you're catching these support and resistances, you're seeing these rallies, play them, eat the fruit, take your profits, and then wait for the next trade. All right. Nvidia also, I think it's hit our target 250. Now the question is, does it hold or does it continue going up? Personally, I think Nvidia, if it can continue, why do I have this? It's a channel I think I drew on Nvidia. Okay, so Nvidia can continue as I do see a 250, 260 as target, a rally towards 250. So I'll note from before. Around 250 will be hard resistance. Look, again, T just made a comment, do we gap and trap or do we gap and go? What happens? At the open, it's not the time to buy calls. If the stock squeezes and you miss because of my comment, I'm sorry. I'm just sharing my experience. So in the longer run, it can help you, right? But on Nvidia, 250 is very critical and it's a big support and resistance at the same time now. Do we come fill the gap towards 245 and do we make a reversal, or do we give up the 250 and then slowly reverse back to 200? I have no idea what's going to happen. I'm just going to wait for another week or two. If I miss this rally, if I miss these runs, I'm not worried. Trading is not going nowhere. I'll catch it later on. All right. So Nvidia 250, if you guys have Nvidia, my only humble request will be take some profits and roll out maybe. All right. Decrease your position, because I know a lot of my stock life members are in Nvidia from the bottom. Congrats to you guys. Please take some profits and then roll out maybe. All right, scale out in my humble opinion. Amazon, Yash, congrats. I called these $3,000 calls, 3,000 calls for Feb 4th, around $34 last week. Right on the dip, I thought they were fairly priced on this volatility when there was fear in the market, and Amazon has recovered almost over 200 plus move, and these calls today will be trading above 70 bucks at the open with this gap up. It's up to you how you manage. Yash, I know, is holding some. That's a huge move from 3,400 to 7,000. They're more. I got rid of them in the 50s. Maybe I should have held, but 70. That's a big move, big call. On earnings, what happens? I have no idea. With Facebook, with Google reporting today, if Google gaps up like 100 points today, Amazon might gap up 30, 40 points too tomorrow, right? As a big name, it increases the positive sentiment. All right. If Google gaps down 50, 80, 100 points, who knows? Amazon will gap down with it. Likely, it's going to gap down 25, 30 points. And you don't want these calls to go down. Maybe scale out and use the profits. If you're super bullish on earnings and you think 3,200 comes, 3,400 comes after earnings, maybe buy the 3,100 or 3,150s, right? Go buy a spread. And if you're still holding, Yash, if you're listening, this is for you, right? If you still want to make a bet on this call, here's something that you can do, Yash. The 3,200 calls should be going around 30 plus. All right, according to my math, I may be a little off. What you can do is sell 3,200 against this position. So now you lock in your principal. Right? And now you have a 200 point plus potential if Amazon goes, right? So you still make about 600% on this. If you hold the 70 alone, here 70 to 200 is only what? Barely to a 200%. But here, if you lock in your principal, and this goes above 3,200 and holds by Friday's close, you can take out this $200 off, and this overall position will result in 600% plus profits. How's that? Right? These are the things that we teach at my stock life, guys. We go a little advanced. All right. So Yash, if you're listening, instead of selling all, maybe one or two, depending on how many you're holding, I will lock in my principal, sell the further out, leave it as a spread. If Amazon goes, that's 200 plus points. That's $20,000 free if Amazon goes, right, per spread. And you locked in your principal, and you already locked in some gains, right? And so yeah. So guys, my bottom line, there is some volatility expected today to the upside, downside. I have no idea. There's a good chance that we can even rally today if the buying comes in. If the buying comes in the market and people receive, they start buying equities, then the market will rally. All right. And then we see in the Feb operation. No, guys, I actually have fever. I woke up with fever. I'm not gonna lie, my stomach's in pain. I slept really late last night. I'm not feeling good, so it's not that I didn't drink my tea. But yeah, guys. So that's where it is. AMC, I don't cover those stocks, memes. I don't go over them. I mean, sometimes I would, but that's not my forte. But guys, just protect your gains. Earnings, we have Google, we have Facebook tomorrow, and then we have Amazon. Right? It's going to be an exciting week. I'm personally just waiting for Amazon. Right, I watch this stock the most. I'm just waiting to get this. Maybe this stock breaks out of the zone sometime this year, soon, and then we'll nail it. Right. So let's see what happens. Congrats. We'll see you guys back in my stock life premium Discord. And Dr. Love T, great job on your calls, pins, and Dr. Love on your IWM restaurant. Keshav, just ask me in premium. I'll answer.